What is managed VPS hosting? In this video, we're going to look at the difference between managed versus unmanaged. We're going to look at conventional versus cloud VPS. And finally, where you can get a VPS. What is a VPS? VPS stands for Virtual Private Server. It's a server with its own copy of OS and allocated server resources, and it's within a bigger server. It's essentially a machine that's divided into several compartments with separate server software, and it functions independently of other servers. So looking at the graphic version of it, you're going to have a dedicated server that has the RAM and hard drive space separated, and each VPS is going to use only the resources allocated to it. So if, for instance, VPS number 2 here uses all of its resources and gets bogged down, it's not going to affect the server of VPS number 1. What's the difference between managed and unmanaged VPS? With a managed VPS, it requires limited or really no IT knowledge to run it. Your server is maintained by ITs at the hosting service. It's a little bit more expensive, and some hosting companies will limit equipment customization. For unmanaged VPS, you are responsible for all the server and security issues. It's cheaper and sometimes also comes with operational freedom. Depending on what your situation is and what your knowledge is, will depend on which one's going to work best for you. Let's look at the difference between conventional versus cloud VPS. With a conventional VPS, it's a smaller server within a bigger physical server, and it can hit the physical limitations if traffic is high. With cloud-based, it runs on multiple clustered servers. It's scalable, in other words, it's easy to expand, usually with automatic or zero downtime, and it can be customizable based on needs of a project. Who should use VPS hosting? This can be a very difficult question to answer because everybody has their own requirements. So some of the ones that I've thought of that sort of fit the rule of thumb are high traffic blogs, a web development company or site, a website or someone that operates multiple websites, or if you're using process-heavy applications, such as real estate listings, small to medium-sized e-commerce, large directory sites, or websites with reservations or bookings. All of these generally need more resources than you would get from a shared hosting option. Where to get VPS hosting? This is a very difficult question to answer because there are dozens, maybe hundreds of different hosting companies out there, and while they often seem to offer the same service, they often don't. So the big question is, are their system resources good? In other words, are they using SSD drives? Are they good at support? So are they 24/7? And are the people knowledgeable? A lot of these places either have not a 24/7 option, or they aren't very knowledgeable. More often than not, you're not going to find out if they're not knowledgeable until you have an issue, and that could be 6 months down the road. And when that issue comes up, is it going to be so significant that you've lost your entire site? I've heard of a lot of options where that's the case, and of course, the support, all they're going to do is either try and funnel you to a knowledge base or pawn you off on somebody else saying that they'll get to it. So in my experience, the two options that have been fantastic, and these are highly reputable and often recommended from my web design colleagues, are Liquid Web and Sitegound. So Liquid Web Cloud VPS starts at $59 per month, as I mentioned before. And you can get 50% off for 3 months using the promo code FASTVPS50. Sitegound starts at $80 per month. And as far as I know, there are no discounts for it at the moment. So either way, you can get both of these options through the links down below.